I think all of us, whenever we think about strobes, we think about huge modifiers and big umbrellas and pointing them around and doing stuff with them. And I think it's really nice to spread the light. And again, we go back to, if I go back to, I call it big, bold, beautiful light. We're going to use some umbrellas to mess around with some light and stuff like that. And again, let's talk about the softness of light and how light reacts as it gets closer to us and stuff. So a large sun far away causes really hard light when it's direct sunlight, right? And we know what happens. When we have cloud cover, it closes up. All of a sudden, we've got a big softbox. We've got a big, huge softbox. So if we shoot into an umbrella and I've got these diffusion over the umbrellas, I'm creating a larger light to work with, softer light, which is what? My thing. I like soft light. I'm big into soft light. I like it. I like it for the transitions and I like creating soft light. So that's kind of how I've been doing it. Plus, we've got a lot of times we're shooting for a client. Let's say I'm doing a lookbook. This is a setup that I do for my lookbooks and stuff like that, where I use these big soft boxes. This is essentially exactly what I do in the studio when I do these fashion lookbooks. And I do 2 umbrellas. I vary the power between them. So we've been fiddling with it, and we've got the D2s now that we're rocking, the brand new ProPhoto D2s. We've got one at 6.5, I got this one at 6.0. This one has a silver on the inside, and this one's white. Now it's not gonna make a huge difference because the sock is over it. If I take the sock off, we're gonna look at the differences when we do that and look at the contrast that it creates. That's why I put the silver up there. I like that silver's gonna give you a touch more punch, a little punchiness to your images. And I like my buddy Phil to be soft. We want Phil to be a softer light, okay? I almost went there, guys. I know that I almost went there. So think about that. Cloud cover. This is why on a cloudy day, I go up on my roof in New York, and I was like, anytime I look out the window and I see direct sunlight, I'm like, I don't need to go up there and shoot. I see cloud cover, I'm like, I'm good. Let's go. We got a big softbox. And remember, what were we talking about? What's the Walt Whitman quote? Nose to the sun, let the shadows fall behind you. So if you've got a big softbox overhead, right, coming down on them, it's going to be softer, but it's going to still create shadows underneath. You want to get people looking up into it, or you want to watch that light as they change which direction they're looking. So I'm putting this light a little bit higher and a little bit angled, and we'll see how it goes. So let's see what I've got here. Softness of the light is determined by the relative size of the light source and its proximity to the subject. The closer it is to your subject, it's bigger. It's a bigger source. So the light's going to be softer, right? That's like the clouds are a lot closer to us than the sun. So it's a lot softer, all right? That is another reason why I get those flex kits and everything so really, really tight in there, okay? All right, so let's take a look and go capture one on this. And let's bring in Yulin and let's try some stuff. So this is a standard, simple setup that gets the job done for me. You can walk on there, that's no big deal. I got a guy. So that's the other thing is that, so one of the challenges, and sometimes I put 4 heads on the background. All right, this is simple lighting for portraits. I have a 6 light setup here. That's not very simple, right? So I could do it with 2 heads to be more simple on the background, or I could just take it off the background entirely and shoot it on gray. But I'm concerned about when my work, I really like the background to go white and then the seamless to look really nice. And then when I come up here, I've got her feet and everything, so I go with a low fill to kind of fill a little bit in here, and then the umbrella is gonna fill her face as well. So I've got it angled down a little bit towards the floor because this light's so high, there's nothing going on here. Now, if I wanted to get fancy, I could bring another light in here, or I'm gonna show you another trick on how to fill it. So we might try some stuff, but let's just start with a little bit of a build maybe, or we'll just shoot it with kind of like the way we've had it. All right, we're good. Now I did switch to the 5 DSR, which I love. So I got a 5 DSR, a Canon 5 DSR on here now, and I'm at 200 ISO. Do I need to be at 200? You sure? I could be at 100, but why would I be at 200? What would be the benefit of being at 200? What? How bright is it in here right now? It's kind of bright, right? What if I wanted to use some of the light that was in here? I love mixing light. If you look at the light on her right now, it's phenomenal. So I'm gonna teach you guys how I mix strobe with natural light. How would I do that? You guys know the answer? What would I do? I'm gonna get my settings down for strobe. So we're at 1/160th of a second because we're right under 1/200th, just because that's my safety play, right? And I'm at f8. So what I could do is I could pull back the power on all the strobes and decrease them so I can let more natural light in. But I have another trick. What is it? You know.
You just match the ambient light.
I could match the ambient light, but then why am I doing strobes? What I want to do is I want to match the strobe with the ambient. How do I get the ambient light into my strobe look? Come on. What? I drag the shutter, right? So I'm going to drag the shutter to do that. So let's take a shot without dragging the shutter. And I'll keep it at 200, and maybe we'll do some adjustments, and we'll just see. Let's see how Yulin looks. Okay, let's just see, and see if I got you head to toe and see what's going on here. I don't want to get down there and my glasses are going to go flying on the floor in a second. Let me put them in my pocket. All right, let's see right here. Cool. All right, I got her head to toe. I got full body. I got the focus. I got everything the way I want. Let's do a guest shot. She looks gorgeous. And boom, shakalaka. All right, maybe I don't need to do, maybe I did. I thought I was rushed. I thought I like it. I actually like it. I could actually shoot like this. So let's just do this. I'm not gonna extend the background. I'm gonna give a little bit more room around her. One of the tricks, if I was annoyed by the foot in there, I could just move it a little away from her. So I can do that, and then, because I saw it, I know I can get it out. I know my retoucher can get it, but I saw it. Come a tiny step forward, right there. That's good. All right, let's look at this light. Now, I angled, let's get one where she's not blinking, then we'll look at we'll zoom in and see what the face is actually doing. Let's just see if I can keep this foot out of it. If I wanted to get the stands out of it, I could always put the stuff on a boom. But then again, we don't need to spend more money on that stuff. So I'm gonna actually pull a little wider so I can see a little bit more of the background. Actually, Yulin, take a tiny step back, because we would have to go higher with the backdrop if we want to get her head and everything in there on the angle I'm shooting on. So I'm gonna do this. Let's try this. That's perfect. And I'm just using the 24-70 on the Canon, and I'm adjusting. Let's give her a little bit more room around her. I'm not laying my Hurleyisms on her or anything when I'm doing it. Now, let's zoom in and see what we got. Let's go our numbers first. We're right where I want. I'm not blown out on the background. I'm 250, I'm right where I want to be, right? The area of concern is right here. Right? I'm at 230 here. I'm at 250 back here. I'm at 230 here. Right? Now I could throw another light in there. I could have my retoucher bring that up pretty easy, or I could allow some natural light to come in and do that, right? She's not really moving much. If this was a speedier thing, I'd bring more lights in to do it. But let's see how the fill is on her face. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, I love the light. See the catch lights? I don't mind the catch lights. And I like the light. The light's pretty good. I have very limited on the shadows, right? Fill is doing a lot of work, right? I could ease fill up a little bit, but I like the light. You guys like the light? I can work with that. I could shoot a whole lookbook like that, easy. Let's try and see if we can bring this up by adding, and then we'll get a little bit more light in. We're gonna drag the shutter. We're gonna play around here just to get that foreground, and I'm gonna open up the lens to show you the whole scene. We'll take the lights out afterwards, obviously. I did not drag the shutter. Hold on, guys. Everybody settle down. I'm gonna drag the shutter and I'm gonna bring it in at let's see how much we can bring in here. If I'm dragging the shutter, if she's not moving, let's see what happens. Look at this now, right? I pretty much have a similar exposure there. Look at the foreground. And all I did, let me just check it. Let's see if we got some light in there. We got some light on her feet. We got some light on the body. And we opened up we opened it up a little bit. We didn't open it up that much. So there's another way to do this, guys, right? We can go down a stop on everything. I don't know if I have it set up so I can go down a stop on everything. 5.5. Let's go down a stop on everything. 6.5. Go 5.5. All right, there we go.
Peter, can
Yeah.
you explain what dragging the shutter is?
Okay, so I'm leaving the shutter. That's perfect, Drew. Thanks for asking, and I'm glad people asked that question. So I'm leaving the shutter open longer than it needs to be for the strobe. So the strobe goes off, it hits her, right? At 1/200th of a second, I could be done, right? And it goes on its merry way. It's gone. But there's still light hanging out in the room. Where is it? Right? So in order to get that in, I'm leaving the shutter open a little longer just to add that amount of light. So I like to do it in this scenario if I've got a natural light studio, because then I can bring both in. Now, if she's running around or moving, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna bring in other lights to light it, or sometimes this is it's a cream colored ceiling. I might shoot a strobe into the ceiling to light the floor. But again, in this scenario, I wouldn't even do it because my retoucher would handle it. My client would be happy. What I normally do actually is, with a lot of the clothes I shoot, turn these off, John? Yeah. A lot of the clothes I shoot, I'm hot, I'm taking off my sweater, I'm going. A lot of the clothes I shoot, if you shoot a white dress and you shoot it on a white background and you're getting the exposure on the skin tone right, you're gonna lose some detail in the white. And the separation between the white on the dress and the white on the background, the designers are like, I'm trying to see my dress. I'm like, all right, we'll do a little light gray background, and let's try that. I drag the shutter, I'm going light gray background. I'm in the same situation, and I'm at ISO 200, and we can go ISO 400 even in this situation. Right? And then we could bring this down to 5.6. Oh no, we can't. What am I doing, guys? We were at F8. I'm gonna stay at 200. Let's not go crazy. Let's stay in the zone. Let's try it with the gray. And I'm just gonna go 5.6. I'm gonna help out by lowering the power that the strobe's hitting her at. I'm gonna go 4-5 here, and I'm gonna go 4-0 here. And we're gonna try this. So we're just bringing it down. And the thing I love about the Pro Photo is you have that tiny increment. Like I could fiddle with this all day. I like what I did in the first shot, right? Now I'm just mixing light to do it. At this stage of the game, I could bring a flex kit in and do it too. All right, let's try it. All right, we're gonna take another guess shot because I totally changed everything. Okay, I'm at 60th of a second, 5.6, 200 ISO. Let's try it and see what natural light looks like before I shoot the strobe even. Well, now I don't like, did I move that light? It's all in my frame. Let's move it out a little bit. It's a big light, it's soft. I don't mind it a little bit further away from her because it's super big already, right? And I'm not going for that ultra contrasty business anyway that I was getting. Okay, that's no strobe. So this is how much natural light we're getting in on there. So it's not much. It's really not much at all. I don't think it's gonna help us very much at all, right? I thought we had more light in the room. So in this scenario, I probably wouldn't even do this. Let's forget that idea. Let's stay back where we were. If I really wanted to do that, I'd bring the whole operation up here, right? I would bring everything, I'd bring her closer to the window so I had more power. That's what I would be up to.
Peter,
all right, cool. Yeah.
Ryan Parker has a question. Peter, is the key light at the same power as the background lights in this setup?
Is it? I think it's less because the key light is bouncing into the umbrella and then going through the diffusion material. So
even if it's set at the same number.
What do we have it at? 5.5? It may be set at the same. It's 4 or 5 now.
Okay.
I've been moving it. Let's go back up to where we were. We were at 5 and 5.5. You guys, I'm messing with my settings, and I think the background was at 5.5, wasn't it?
Okay.
We turned them off. Hold on a second. 5.5. Turn it off again, though. I want to see what the background looks like. I want to see if the background can go a slight gray. So I'm back to 1/160th. I'm at f8. I think I'm going to try f5.6 at 200th of a second. Let's try that. And you just look here. Now, she's so far away from me now, the connection between me and the subject isn't as much. So you see what happens with the light? That's why we want to get that backlight going. You'll take a tiny step forward. Now, let's say I was shooting like this. I'll also do this because I'm not going to concern myself too much with the floor. I don't like the way the boots and the stuff like that go. But let's just say for kicks, I'm shooting like this, right? Take a look at this. Let's compare it to this. Do we have a nice gray background? That's beautiful shot, beautiful light. So I don't want to overcomplicate it. Once I got my light the way I want, then I'm just looking to solve problems. Like I'm like, where is the light really having issues? Let's go and turn on the background lights and see how this exact shot looks, and then we'll go back and look at the floor. So these lights should wipe out a lot of the shadows that we saw in the shot before, and that's why I've got 2 of them. So I've got one kind of low, 2 of them kind of low, which we can aim the trajectory of them wherever we want. But see this, see these shadows on the floor? So the 2 lights are gonna create shadows. We're just gonna fill that. And they're at 5.5. This is at 5.0 and this is at 5.5. So they're all very similar in power. Let's give it a shot. Let's see how we're doing. I'm gonna do it in the same way I did it before. So, and then we're gonna check the settings on the, let's check the settings on the, now I'm not giving Yulin anything to work with here because I'm messing with the light, right? Once I get it locked in, then I can start to direct her, right? But I'll make her aware of that. I don't like my people that I'm shooting sitting there while I'm doing this and they're just like you're with me on this, right? You got it? Okay, good. I just, I want to make sure that they know that I'm got. So let's look at let's do the same thing. If we're going for, where are we going? Oh, we're at 255, 255, 255. We're in good shape. Now let's go for the floor. Let's see how the floor looks. again, and I'll vary my height depending upon the height of the person and where I'm going and the camera, and then I like the 24 to 70 because I just put it, with these types of things, I just put this on, I just zoom out till I like the framing. And then I'll lock it in there maybe for a shoot once I figure out where I want. And I'll usually have a mark or something where actually I shoot my cyc all the time, and there's always little scuff marks, but it's got this amazing paint on it. So when you shoot it, everything like vanishes. But you can see the scuff mark, so I'll just put either a little piece of tape for whoever I'm shooting, or I'll say just stand on that little scuff mark that barely shows up anyway. Okay, here we go. Yulin right here. Beautiful. Good, let's take a look. I like the way, see how we eliminated these shadows? And this is really, really nice. Because going up here and working up here is fairly easy. It's down here that I'm worried about, because and that's why I'm angled like that. So I'm liking what I'm seeing here a lot. And I would shoot something like this all day long. And now, since this is 255, it took away the shadows down in here. I'm just gonna go pull back on these, because they're already at 255, right? So let's pull them back a half stop. Let's try 5.0 and just see what that does. And if I can get into my 250 range, it's gonna match the front a little bit better anyway. And now I'm also at 1/60th of a second, I'm at 5.6, and I could start to work with Yulin now. There we go. We're getting a little bit even more. Let's see what it is. Is it still too? No, now it came down a little bit. It could come down a little bit more, but I really like the way it looks, so I'm gonna keep it there. And then I'm just gonna go and start to go to work. Yeah.
Twofold question. One is, are we trying to get total white, head to toe, all the way through the back of the frame, or are we going to accept a little bit of gray on the bottom of the frame?
We're gonna accept a little bit of gray if we can, because if I'm at 238, for me to get it to 250 is no problem.
So, and I'm not talking about your guy is good enough to touch it up, but like for a lookbook, do they want to have straight white, or are they okay with a little bit of color in the bottom?
No, usually for the lookbooks, a lot of times, and some of the clients I work with, they don't want to retouch either. So they want it to look perfect right off the bat. So I'll shoot and I'll show them, I'll say, this is where we're at. This is what I'm getting, you know, and a lot of times I would bring in a light just to light the foreground evenly, and then we'd get it and we'd go off and run with that. Because I don't want that, they're like, we're on a budget, we don't need a retoucher, because usually if I'm shooting a lookbook, oh my gosh, sometimes it's like 50 looks. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And they're like, we're not gonna go through and retouch all this, so we just want it to look as close to what we need.
And if we're getting our white reading as 255 all the way across the board, it'd actually be telling us that we're overexposing and we wouldn't know. So we might have to bring it down. You'd like to keep everything around 250?
I like to keep it around 250, and actually, if the dress is white, like I was saying before, go 4.5 on these, John. So I actually don't want the background, sometimes I don't, when I'm shooting that kind of stuff, I don't want it to go white, so I definitely want it around 250. Yulin, you're doing great. Little positive reinforcement for her, right? She deserves it, she's standing there. All right, so now it's evening up really nicely on me. Yeah, and now that's probably where I'd be. All right? And it's a simple lighting setup. You've got, I mean, the strobes in the back are just lighting the background. This is the light that I couldn't do when I was in LA on that job. This was all I had to do, and I just couldn't figure it out. I don't know why. I don't know what I was doing. But you know, this is a very simple setup that works. You put 2 umbrellas in front, big, get them large. You can adjust the angles of these however you want. You know, you can figure it out. Like right now, I'm above the head, I'm at a little bit of an angle. If I wanted to flatten this out, I could do something like this and turn it, and we're gonna talk about feathering in a little bit and getting some shots. I could change fill So Phil's a little bit flatter, and maybe we don't want Phil so low. So, and maybe we want to aim Phil a little bit so Yulin's a little bit back, and then let's see what it does, see how it changes. Now these are only half stop apart. It's not going to be a huge difference, but let's take a shot and see what we get. All right, Yulin, that's great. Perfect, I like it. I'm not giving her much direction because she looks good. If they look good off the bat, just give them positive reinforcement. All right, so do you see how the foreground changed? Because I brought Phil up. So I was getting some, Phil was doing some work down here. I should stop touching my neck. Phil was doing some work down here. Does that bother me enough not to do it? I don't think so. Hold on. But I liked it the other way. Let's look at the face and let's see the difference. I actually like it. I could probably open up a little bit. I've got a little bit less skin tone. Yulin's like, that's a 5 DSR showing 50 megapixels of all my glory. Will you move back a little bit? All right, so I'm just gonna open up a little bit. Let's take another shot. And let's see if we can brighten it up a little bit. There we go, now the skin tone looking pretty good. I like it. I like where it's going. I like what's going on. And it still works. And now I'm not so concerned with the floor because this came up. Question?
If I was on a budget and I wanted to do this with one strobe on the background, how would I do that?
If you wanted to do this with one strobe on the background, you'd probably have to do the shoot through. You could put a strobe behind that, hide it, shoot through it, the way that we were. Mm-hmm. But then the bottom of it have to be white. You'd have to get enough light through it. That would be kind of difficult. The other thing that you could try, you could put a boom overhead and aim down into the corner and hope for the best. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a couple ways to get around it, but it's really hard to light something like this that's that big. It's a 9-foot seamless. And to light it with one strobe evenly is pretty tough. Good question.
Could I do it with a diffusion material?
You have to figure it out so you're not going to see the diffusion material. Like if you want it to be like a seamless, like a cyc wall, and have the sweep, you know, with the curve, you're always going to get something in the curve. You're going to have to retouch whatever's in the curve out.
Right.
You know. But we could do it. I mean, we could bring the big sucker in here and put it right there and put one light behind, excuse me, and get the same thing. But again, you got more work after in post, which isn't really that hard. I mean, you know, but still, that's what you're working against. So you're always trying to find these options that work best for you with the equipment that you've got. And since this is simple lighting, just take that head off of there. Turn that off. Just turn it off. Act like it's not there. Act like it's not there. All right, we don't need 2. We're gonna lower this one a little bit. Are we lowering it? I can't lower this one because that one's there. I can only go a little bit lower? Okay, well I might lower it a little bit more, but hold on, we don't need this anymore, so I'm gonna take this sucker off. I think you can get away with it with 2 lights. I just like this move because you can go a little lower with that. And you could see, if you guys look at this backdrop, do you see the top of it, how it's lit up? The top is lit up more. That's a moment where I could relight this whole thing, go to like a higher ISO, open up, because the depth of field when I'm this far away with a 24-70 on, it's not a factor for me. I don't need to worry about that. And I could do some stuff. Are both those on? Let's just see what it does. Now I took away a light, so I'll probably go up to 5.5 on this. Since we took away a light, we'll just add another, and we'll just see how we do. Okay, Yulin right here, perfect, fantastic. I can work with that. And did we miss anything? Not really. Okay? So that's a 4-light setup. You would need to do something like that. Now let's just say we don't have 4 lights. And we only have 3 lights. We're gonna get, fill is like too expensive, so we can't afford to have fill around anymore. We wanna get rid of fill. So we're gonna, fill's done. And we're gonna get our trusty VFlat, and we're gonna replace fill with our VFlat, which doesn't cost very much, because we went to the art supply store and we bought it and we taped it together and we put it right here. And we're gonna get the same effect without a light. All right? We're getting more, we're simplifying. You still need your key light. You need your background lights if you're gonna do it evenly with 2. What's the other option? The other option is moving Yulin against the background, using the inverse square law to get her closer to the background so the background goes almost white. And then I would actually do this. Do it like this. Hold it like that. Now move that onto the actual white cyc and put it right there. And if you look, I mean, you can't see anything. I don't know how you could look. But you can see that I'm shooting the key light right into the bound, right into the V-flat. Let's take a shot and see how it looks. See if we need that. If that's necessary. Yulin, that's just great. And we have a similar look. It's not the same. It's a little less punchy, right? Can you guys see that? Let's move the V-flat so you can see that. It's a little less punchy, and I'm getting a little bit less on the floor. But again, is the client gonna freak out or no? Maybe not. And you're building your base, so you don't have to go crazy. Like I said, you need to build this up as you have the income stream coming through. You could start to buy what you need to buy.